Hi, this is Bihar. So in this video, we'll discuss about what is dependency injection in C#.NET, like how we are going to use and what is the main benefit of introducing this dependency injection in C#.NET. Why not in VB.NET? So if you look at this dependency injection, the dependency injection is a software design pattern that deals with how components get hold of the dependencies. If you look at ASP.NET MVC, we can say it's a loosely coupled, things we have in the MVC like model view control. So that way we can implement the required stuff very easily and can be integrated later and can be tested very easily. But there are some applications where we are developing without using ASP.NET MVC. Those are tightly coupled. But in that context also, how we are going to manage the dependence of objects between different layers like UI and business and all layers. So in C#.NET come up with the concept of dependency injection, which adopts in the IOC concept, inverse of control. So this is a design pattern which deals with how components get hold of their dependencies. So this dependency injection is an expression component in main program in the article of inversion of control that contains the dependency injection pattern. Using this dependency injection, how we are going to control things in the different objects. So dependency injection is an technique whereby one object supplies the dependencies of another object. A dependency is an object that can be used as a service, and this an injection is the passing of a dependency to a dependent object. How the things are being processed with an object to some other object in place of no direct calling the dependencies. So moving to this dependency injection, we have three type of classes involved in this dependency injection, like client class and service class and injector class. So client class is nothing but it's a class which dependent on the service class, because I'm going to access my service which are available in the server. I'm at my client place and I'm going to access through a client class. So client class always deals with the server classes and always depends on the service class. Service class is nothing but a class that provides the service to the client class. So service class is nothing but some kind of functionality, some kind of task which is being built on the service using some class library and being deployed at the deployment machine, that is the server. So this is always providing some service to the service client class. And coming to the injector class injects a service class object into the client class. So what this injector class is doing is it will inject or it will pass the service class object into a client class, so that instead of client class is accessing the service class, it can directly access through injector class. If you look at the below diagram, this is my client class and this is my service class. So client class always depends on service class. Service class always gives a service to the client class. And between this injector class, this injects a service class object into a client class. So this will inject a service class into a client class. So it will get a reference from the service class and it will pass this object to a client class. This is how it is involving between this client class and service class, nothing but inversion of control. As I told you, like inversion of control is nothing but directly controlling of your object. You go for an alternative way of controlling your object, and you spend on other areas so that it will cover other things. Meantime, you will get the stuff from the IOC concept using some kind of dependency injection like that. Okay. So this is what the dependency injection is doing in the development era. So implementation of dependency injection pattern in C#, dependency injection is a great way to reduce the right, way. It is the right way to reduce the tightly coupling objects between software layers or components. Like dependency injection also enables us to better management for the future changes and other complexity in our software development. So if you can have a dependency injection in the development code, it is very easy to manage your code, or if you want to change anything in the future, it is very easy and manageable if you use a dependency injection, no need of worrying of modifying everything at service class, server class, and client class. Only we can change it in the injector class, so that you will get your changes reflected into your development. Also, it is very uh, right thing to deal the complexity problems. As I told you, once you develop an application and going forward, if you receive any other change to be included in the development, so instead of disturbing and altering everything which you got, giving a functionality at client side and server side, if you only look at this injector class dependency injection, then we can able to manage other complexity things. So the main purpose of this dependency injection is to make code maintainable. This is what the main good benefit of using dependency injection in C# is maintainability. How you are going to maintain a code. Once you give a code deployment, and if you want to change anything to fix a bug, or if you want to change anything to handle a change request, or if you want to handle anything which is enhancing some other requirement, no need of looking at all the code level files, and only we look at dependency injection areas where it is referring the object of service class and pushing it a client class. That area we need to touch it. That is what the maintenance problem will be reducing with this dependency injection. So dependency injection is a technique, as I told you, where one object applies to the dependency of another object. So as you can see, in the injector class creates an object of here service class, and this inject shares the object to a client object. This way, dependency injection separates the things and the responsibility of creating an object of service class out of a client class. This is how it is happening. If dependency injection is involved in the development. Okay, so what are the type of dependency injections we have, and how we are going to achieve them? So as you learned above, the injector class is injecting the service to the client. That is, service is a dependency, client is a dependent. Okay, so dependency injection, the service class, how it is injecting to the client, have been seen in the diagram. So the injector class injects the dependencies broadly in three ways: through constructor, through property, and through method. Constructor injection is nothing but injector supplies this dependency like a service class to the client class constructor. So through the client class constructor, the service or the injector is being pushed into a class. And property injection is nothing but it is injecting, supplying the dependency through a public property of the client class. And method injection is nothing but client class implements an interface which declares a method to supply dependency, and the injector uses interface to supply dependency to the client class. So the constructor is being again in the client class, and property is being again in the client class. But method injection is having another implementation that is like interface kind of thing, which declares a method, and that method will supply the dependency, and injector uses this interface to supply dependency to the client class. So these are three areas where we can adopt this dependency injection to reduce the tightly coupling concept in the development era. So if you look at a small example, like how we are going to do, we'll write some example and see, I'm just going to explain customer data access concept, where I am going to create an interface, customer data access, and which defines the get customer name method. And after that, I will declare one more class, customer data access, where the class is being inherited from the interface. And we'll create a injector class, like a factory kind of thing, data factory. And how it is going to work, we'll see. And we'll give a somewhat small demo with some class and going through steps. So here, what I'm going to do is, I better take, the project of the console. So I think it's not to me. So here, what I'm going to do is, I will first write an interface where it has my stuff, like customer data access stuff. Public interface a customer access. It has a method which returns a string get customer name at the ID parameter. So after this, I will be declaring a class, public class customer data access, which inherits customer data access. Okay, here I am writing this constructor public customer data access, and in this customer data access constructor will return dummy customer name. Okay, and after that, what I'm going to do is, I think better we'll keep this as some ID, right? Keep ID, int ID. So here I'm declaring a constructor public customer data access, public string. Okay, and after declaring a class, I'm declaring one more class that is behave like injector here, public class data access factory. So where I'm a customer interface, I'm just declaring a variable customer data access, and here I will define some business logic. So customer data access, which have a custom data access, and here I will define my customer data access, the customer data access object. This is the object. Here I am returning new customer data access. So once it is done in the customer business logic, public this I am defining outside better. This is my data access class, and here I am declaring another class business logic. So in this business logic, I am defining a variable. So after defining this variable, just writing a constructor here, public customer business logic. Here I'm returning or assigning customer data access equal to data access factory dot. That's fine. So and then next coming to the implementation, I'm writing it here, public string get customer name int ID. So here returning data access dot get customer name of ID. So after this, the problem with our example that we used data access factory inside customer business logic class. So suppose there is another implementation of interface customer data access for some reason, and we want to use the new class inside customer business logic. Then we need to change the source code of a customer business logic class. Also, dependency injection pattern comes into the area. This case, if you look at here, I'm just explaining you, like first I written interface where it has a method, and I have another class where it is inherited from this interface, and it has some constructor, and it has the definition of the constructor in this interface method. And again I have another class that's data access factory, and this also have another method which accessing this data access object, and another class customer business logic where I'm having a constructor in the constructor, and no, I'm just calling this get customer data access object. So this object, what it will do is this will invoke this, and it will return the instance of this thing and put it into this particular variable. So, and this variable have this class reference of this data access, customer data access, and this will call this function. This function will return the customer name. So the worst thing of this kind of implementation is, suppose there is another implementation of this particular class member method for some reason, and we want to use that new class inside customer business logic. And inside of this customer business logic, if you want to use that, we need to change the source code of customer business logic class also. So this business logic, or this business logic also, we have to change it. But if I use this constructor dependency injection like this way, I'm just getting a reference and calling of this object, and this object calling of another the access of customer data access, and within this function is going to call the original method of this get customer name, will always generate, and it avoid the changes of the interface and the source code of this business logic. Because if you have a case like where you are going to implement another implementation for the interface method, then you will see problem when accessing, and you need to change the business logic code and the interface declaration. That case, this dependency injection comes into the picture. It will control the service class, and it will inject that service class to the client class like this way. Like this is what my client customer business logic I'm written here. So here I'm just accessing this interface, and in this constructor I'm accessing the reference of this particular data access factory, and this is constructor I'm accessing data access, and this customer name I'm accessing original customer name method. So this way indirectly I'm calling this original method, which is declared in the interface and customer data access. So this is how the dependency injection comes into the picture and involves and resolves the problem of like duplication and the tightly coupled thing which you are in program. Okay, hope you understand how the dependency injection is working in short, and how it is going to avoid or reduce the tightly coupled implementation. Thanks for listening to this video. Please subscribe YouTube channel for more videos on this shop.